So as we know that there are 7 vowels in French: A, E, I, O, U, Y, and H. Okay, and the sound of A is A, E, I is pronounced as E, O is pronounced as O, U as EU, Y is also pronounced as E when it's a part of a word. It's also pronounced as E, and H is silent. Okay, so repeating one more time. A is pronounced as A. So this is very important, guys, that the sounds of vowels should be clear in your mind, because whenever we are reading any word, of course, like in almost all the words, we have vowels, right? In almost all of them. So the sounds of vowels should be clear in your mind so that you come up with the correct pronunciation. A is pronounced as A, E as A, I as E, as O, U as EU, Y as E, H is silent. And in 95% cases, last letters are also silent in French. We do not pronounce them. Okay? Yes, exceptions are there, but we get to know about exceptions at a certain point of time. All right? But as per the rule and logic, last letters are silent. Now, can you see this backward accent on letter E? So basically, this is called accent grave. Accent grave. And this accent, whenever this accent is there on letter E, it gives you a sound. A, a. Okay?
Sorry, I
A.
cannot get. What is this? Accent graph? What is that?
This is accent grave. Then actually, there are some symbols in the language. Okay?
Okay.
And
Hmm.
they have their own importance and role. And whenever
Okay.
that particular symbol is there in any word, then we can't ignore it. And of course, we
Okay.
can't change them or modify them on our own. It's like by default.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
by default, spellings are there. We can't change them. Same way are the symbols.
Okay.
So
But
whenever, yeah,
which kind of E has to be used? That how we remember that which kind of E has to be used without symbol or with symbol?
as in,
Like if I'm writing something, so whether I have
mhm,
to use with symbol or I have to use without symbol E.
that always depends upon the spellings of the word. In
Okay.
some
Okay.
words, there is only it is fixed. You don't have to think and just imagine. Okay, I have to
Okay.
put this here. It always depends upon the sound. Let me tell
Okay.
you. Uh, Whenever this backward accent is there on letter E, this is called exograph, and this gives you a sound. A. Okay, a.
Okay.
So whenever you hear any sound like a, it's like in that it speaks that there must be some spelling with e accent, with this exograph. And of
Okay.
course, the way we learn spellings in English, the same way we learn spellings in any other language, right? Then you
Right.
get more familiar with it. Okay, this particular word includes symbol, includes that accent in it. So we can't decide by ourselves. It's like by fixed. It's fixed. We can't change it.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And it's like these symbols are not there in every word. So some examples are, and yes, while we are reading any word, we use the strategy of phonics, phonic sounds, phonetics. Okay, like letter R as r r r, g g g, L as l l l, B as b b b. So you have to keep in mind the sounds, the phonic sounds for that particular letter. For example, here in this, it's r, a, like I told you, E with this accent gives you a sound, g, l, L, because separately E has a sound. Like when I was telling you about the vowels, so here I mentioned that E has a sound. Okay, so it's going to be like this: a, g, l, regular. And then whenever we are pronouncing letter R as R, It's actually not r, it's her, her. It comes from your throat, her. Okay, so it's Hegler, Hegler,
Heckley, right? Heckley.
Hegler, l, because E has
Okay.
a sound. Any word with E without accent has a sound. Okay,
Hmm.
any word that ends with letter E or there is E in between any word, it will give you a sound, not a sound, not E sound. It's just her, sorry, a.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
This example spellings are wrong or what? It's in
No, no,
French only.
in French we write it like this.
Okay.
Exemple.
Example.
Yeah. Hmm. So this is like règle, which means rule or scale. Then we have next word, which is like the, her, eh. And I told you that in French, last letters are silent, right? We don't pronounce them. So it's going to be khai, khai, as R is pronounced as her, not r, her. So this is khai, khai. Okay. Next one, b, khai, r, prayer, prayer. Because her, this is like her, this is like prayer. So prayer, prayer, which means brother, co, le, je, collège, collège. So question is, here we are pronouncing letter G as G, here as J, Y. Guys, it's all about combinations. Pronunciation is all about combinations. So when you're aware of certain combinations and their sounds, then it gets really easy to read any word. So whenever you have G, E together, okay, so it's like the sound is J and not G. Whenever it's like G, E, G, okay, G. Even if you are separately writing C, C gives you K sound in French. K. Yes. When C is accompanied by E or I or there is a symbol. Can you see the small tail underneath the big C? This symbol is called sedia. Sedia. We call it sedia. So
Sorry,
why
what
does
was CI? What was CI?
CI is
C.
C, simple, C. I'm just telling you that whenever letter C is accompanied by letter E or I, then it will give you so like sir, C sound. But separately, C is K, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Mhm. Or when there is like symbol sedia, it also gives you sir sound. And again, we can't decide where to have to use a symbol. It's like by default, symbols are there in the words, and you have to learn the spelling. Another thing, G I and G E. It's like je. Otherwise, G is pronounced as g, g. Next, we have E with this forward accent, and this is called accent aigu, accent aigu. Okay, and whenever this accent aigu is there on letter E, it gives you a sound, a. Okay, earlier we learned accent grave, it gives you a sound, accent aigu, it gives you a sound. Okay, so let's read it out. So you can always, combine them with the vowels and then read it. For example, like I told you that I has E sound in French, right? So you can combine like C, ne, ma, because A is always A. Okay, so it's cinema, cinema, cinema. Then we have they, des, the. They, des, the. Okay, so it is very important that you should be aware about sounds of the vowels, because like almost every letter is accompanied by one vowel, and then it's gonna be very helpful for you to come up with the correct pronunciation. Which,
So right now that you are telling, so is there any book for this thing, or how can we understand in future? Right now that you are telling me, okay.
yeah, you just understand the rules, because in this document almost all the combinations are there.
Okay.
Okay, so no need not to worry about it. And of course, like with the time and practice, we are more familiar with pronunciation. The more we read, the more we listen to authentic French audios. Okay,
Yes, yes.
so it's gonna be very helpful, and don't worry about it. It's just like first class, na? So things
Mhm.
might seem to be little alien and stranger to you, because it's a
Okay.
very of course it's a language that we haven't learned since our childhood. So,
Mhm.
but once you are going with the flow and you are understanding the concepts, it is very important to understand if this is happening, why this is happening. When that
Okay.
why question is clear in your mind, then
Mm.
it's not a big game. Okay,
Right.
of course, yeah, when we are learning something, so challenges are also there. So,
Mm.
but the point is that concept should be clear in your mind.
Yeah, but you rightly mentioned if once the why is clear, then the things will be easy to understand.
Exactly. Like here, I told you that if that simply, I just tell you, okay, we pronounce it as this, but you don't know why we are pronouncing it this way, then it will be more of a cramming. Okay,
Mm.
if this word will come in front of you, I will pronounce it that way. But the point is, if you know why this is been pronounced this way, then it's gonna be helpful for like other words also. So it's like they test, the, they test, they test. After this, I'll give you I'll give chance to all of you to speak up the words. Okay, try to read them out. Okay, so here, for example, I told you phonetics, and you can always, whenever you have a longer word in front of you or a new word, then you can always break it into parts and pieces to read it. Like fe, v, c, a. So why a? Again, here we have a combination that is er. Okay,
So
so
combination will be only for two words, right? For two words.
two words as in,
Like FEVRIE
it
or
can be
ER.
two words, it can be three words, letters,
Okay.
letters. It
Okay.
can be
Okay.
two letters, it can be three letters, it can be four letters. Okay,
Mm.
but mostly there are like two and three.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you see er together, this combination will give you a sound. A, right? So this is fe, v, re, a. Fe, and we are not in any hurry while we are reading out something. It's always good to be slow. Okay, because whatever you are reading, it's important that you should understand what you're reading. So it's always good to be slow. We don't have to catch any train. So février, it's February. Then café, because it has R sound. So café, café. Up to here, guys. If you have any doubt and query, please let me know, because after this I will explain you the sounds and you will try to read the words.